Hello, this is Dave Sugarbaker, and today is the third day of August 2025. And I have for you today a sermon about loneliness, but I'm going to start someplace else. I'll get to loneliness eventually. I have three scripture readings that pertain from Proverbs 15. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. That's the first one. Second one is from the letter of James. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. And the third is from Psalms 34. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I was involved in a road rage incident recently. I was driving back from Cincinnati when some distance down the road ahead of me I saw a pickup with a trailer attached. It was sideways on the road, blocking the entire highway. He was backing the trailer off of the road onto a small farm track. And in the process, he was blocking the entire road. It was one lane in each direction. As I approached, the driver was making some progress in backing the trailer onto this track to the right of me, and I slowed to maybe 15 miles an hour, and as I came up on the pickup and the trailer, the left lane was clear. So I had the choice of stopping dead on the road or moving to the left lane and proceeding around him and on my way. I didn't want to stop on the road and risk being rear-ended. As I looked in my rearview mirror, there was somebody far back there who was coming. And so I moved to the left. There was no oncoming traffic, and I went by. The driver of the pickup truck laid on his horn. He pulled his truck and trailer out onto the highway again and started down the road after me. I had pretty much resumed my driving speed before the driver got back on the highway, but he or she, whoever it was, caught up with me at a high rate of speed. I estimate he was going between 80 and 90 miles an hour to catch up with me. And for a moment, I thought he was going to run into the back of my car. He got within 6 to 10 feet of my back bumper before he braked and slowed down to match my speed, and he tailgated me for about a mile, and then he broke off and pulled into a small side road, and that was the end of the incident. I've replayed it over and over, and I just can't see what my infraction was. How did I incense him to that degree? I don't know what was going on. I don't know why he risked his life and mine in a rear-end collision. I didn't consider stopping to talk with this other driver about why he was angry. In my experience, trying to talk to angry people is a waste of time and effort. I know I've been mad myself a time or two in my life, and when I'm in the throes of anger, I'm not really interested in what someone else thinks. I'm highly motivated to tell them why this other person is wrong and I'm right. I used to tell my engaged couples at the premarital consultation that I would have with them that being mad is natural and human, but it's not pretty. When we're mad, we're not at our best. And I told them that anger is like having intestinal gas. It's painful to hold it in, and no matter how you let it out, it's embarrassing. And finally, it's not terminal. But we human beings are not at our best when we're angry. It closes our ears and it prompts us to say and do things that we would not remotely consider if we weren't captured by our upsetness. In our anger, we want to protect ourselves and get this other person who's made us mad. We simply want to inform them that they are wrong, stupid, or crazy, or some combination of all three, for doing things in a way that differs from the way we would do them. In fact, though, nobody else makes us mad. If we decided not to get angry, there's nothing that anybody else could do that would make us mad. It's our choice if we choose to get mad. But we're living in a culture in which it's okay to get outraged when somebody does or says something that doesn't fit with our worldview. And that's a tough way for us all to live. To avoid the wrath of others, we might try to avoid the hot-button topics. It keeps Thanksgiving dinner from exploding, but there's a real price to pay. And the price is loneliness. Psychologist Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." Loneliness is rarely about empty rooms. It's about carrying words that you cannot say and truths that you don't feel safe to share. Anger isolates us. When we can't talk about what matters to us, if we tiptoe around others to avoid their angry responses, we can be with other people and still feel absolutely alone. Last week I talked about the importance of being known, that love requires that we know and are known. We overcome isolation by communicating, and we communicate about the things that seem important to us. Especially in the Christian community, I remember what Jesus said, "A new commandment I give to you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." The tricky part is that love doesn't require us to always agree, but love does require that we understand. Let's go back and check with Paul about the qualities of love. Love is patient. Anger is not patient. Love is kind. Anger is not kind. Anger can be envious, arrogant, boastful, and rude. Love is none of those things. Love doesn't insist on its own way. Anger does. In anger, it's my way or the highway. Anger is irritable and resentful, but love is not. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Anger, on the other hand, justifies almost anything if you get on my last nerve. As one of our hospice people used to say, she'd have a bad day and she would suddenly say, "You know, you're going to get on my last nerve." Well, that justifies just about everything. If we allow ourselves to fit in with today's culture and put a lid on what's important to us so others don't get mad, we may find ourselves isolated and alone. It's not a strategy for feeling abundantly alive. I'm going to reread one of the scriptures that we started with. It uses the word righteousness. Now, righteousness is not being holier than thou. It's not about spouting scriptures all the time. Righteousness is being in loving relationship with God and your fellow human beings. That's righteousness. So listen to the letter of James. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Now, God bless you. Have a good week. If you find that there's value in this, I'd appreciate it if you'd pass it along. And I'll see you soon. Take care.